going on, everybody? We are live, about to get started, just under 30 seconds. Do me a favor if you're watching right now, if you're watching the replay, whatever you're doing, just do me a favor, let me know where you're watching from. Interesting topic today. I probably won't get a lot of people liking what I got to say, specifically the men, but it's all good because men need to hear the truth also. So we're about to get into this. All right? Yeah. We are live. What's going on, everybody? We are live. Thank you so much for watching. You are now tuned in to Harrison Family Values, the podcast where we talk about everything relating to faith, family, fatherhood, and manhood. Thank you guys so much for watching. Now, if you can hear me clearly, put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat. Shout out to the sis, Chelsea, for being in the... there we go. Thank you so much for being here, sis. Glad you were here. Yeah, we're here. We have a dope discussion. We're gonna talk about it tonight. You see the title, see the thumbnail. A lot of you brothers will be upset with me tonight. It's all good because some of you guys have unrealistic expectations in your dating, and you're like, "Yo, I can't find a good woman." The reason we'll get there. We'll get there. But to everybody else, shout out and make sure you guys light up the chat, whether you're watching on YouTube, whether you're watching on Facebook. Light up the chat. I'm trying to get this live on Instagram too, but Instagram has not given me the capability to go live from a third-party software yet. It's all good. When they do, we'll be going live there as well. But we're here to talk about it. So shout out to everybody right now in the chat and live stream. Those of you guys that's watching the replay, do me a favor. It helps the channel out greatly. Please hit the like button. It lets the YouTube algorithm know that this is a video worth sharing out, and it'll let people have access to watching it. It's not going to force them to watch it, but it'll show it to them on their home screens. And if they say, hey, this looks like a decent topic, let me watch it, that will help us out. That's just one simple like will allow that to happen, all right? So without further ado, let's get into the topic of the evening, okay? Men, you're probably wondering, where are all the good women? You're probably wondering, there's no good women out there. I think the dating streets are a habit. It's a wreck. And I can't seem to find a good woman. Or I can't seem to find the woman that I want. And tonight, we're here to talk about it, okay? I'm here to talk to you brothers tonight because we all know topics like this tend to go really well among women. But you men are out there dragging women in the mud with your words because you can't find a good woman, or the woman that you want don't necessarily want you. So they get the YouTube channels talking about them, and a lot of times we got to take some accountability for why we are in the situations that we're in. We got to take accountability for why we can't seem to find a good woman. Why is that? Because not every woman out there wants to be a social media influencer. Some women out there desire to be in a family, in a solid family, to be a good wife and a good mother and a good helpmate to a good man. But you can't seem to find one. So tonight we're going to talk about some possible reasons. Now, everything that I talk about on this channel, I say it all the time. I say some things, but it's not exhaustive. There's so many different variables involved in relationships, in male-female dynamics, that I could say what I say, and there's science behind it. There's some evidence that shows that some of the advice I may give work, but there's a lot of nuances within relationships. Not any one relationship is the same. So there's no cookie-cutter solution to why you are going through what you're going through, or why men can't seem to find a good woman. So we're going to, instead looking outwards and blaming the women for not being good women, I'm going to switch it. I'm talking to you men. And I'm going to share some problems you guys have that's stopping you from finding a good woman. So stay tuned, because you're either going to love what I got to say, or you're going to hate what I have to say. And if you hate it, it's probably because you lack self-accountability. By the way, I got merch. If you're watching on YouTube, right here. Let's see if I can get it to, if you're watching it on YouTube. And by the way, we have a new logo. If you look up here, see that? That's the new logo. That's the new logo. Shout out to CPT artists who, business dealing, had to hire a brother to do some artwork for me. So we are revamping the channel and the branding behind it. So that's the new logo. So we're going to have merch with that logo on there, along with our popular But Did You Pray About It and other stuff. So if you guys would like to support the channel, you can buy some merch. Now let's get into the topic. Why men can't find the woman that they want. And number one, now this is, it is numbered, but it's not in any specific order, all right? Not in any specific order. What's going on? Glad you were here. Glad you were here. I wonder if you got the twins watching this, because I promise you I will make sure to curtail what I'm saying so that if they do happen to watch over your back, they won't be like, oh my gosh, did Mr. Harrison just say that? I don't really say bad stuff. Yeah. All right. If you'd like to support it, thank you so much, Chelsea. Thank you so much, sis. Glad that you were here. All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. So now, one of the reasons why you, my brother, my dog, you have a hard time finding a good woman, finding the right woman, finding the right match. It's because, just like we tell women, you may have high standards or unrealistic expectations.
Danger.
Now, you guys are about to get on me. We like to give women the business when it comes to stuff like this, but when it's time for us to swallow the medicine, we don't want it. Tonight, you're going to have to swallow the medicine, gentlemen. Some of you guys have very high or misguided standards and unrealistic expectations. Okay? You guys want the world, but you don't want to give what's equivalent in what you're expecting. I'll give an example. This is a popular term, and this camera's a little crooked, but either way, popular term, the sexual marketplace, right? And the sexual marketplace value. What I notice about the marketplace, especially in the context of this conversation, we look at the marketplace and we sort of closely equate it to the American economy, right? They call it the dating economy, the American economy, where there's value, right? And we're trying to find value in what we're looking for. The problem is this. Just like in capitalistic societies, what men tend to do is, in the capitalist societies, you want to have the least amount of investment with the greatest amount of return. And I noticed that in dating, men go into dating with that very same mindset. They tend to gaslight a lot when it comes to value, and they try to give the least amount of investment. And I'm not talking about finances. I'm talking about just as a whole. They give the least amount of investment into a relationship and expect the maximum return. And I think that's one of the major problems that adds to the unrealistic expectations of men. In the dating phases, you want a woman to behave like a wife. You want a woman to do all these things, but you are not willing to match the very same thing that you expect. Now, like I said, this is not going to be one of those popular things. Men, you're going to get on me. It's all good. All right. But you're going to have to drink this medicine if you really want to try to put yourself in a position to find a good woman. Okay. Unrealistic expectations, very high or misguided standards. You want the world. You want the woman to be a solid 10, right? You want the woman to be a solid 10, be a great cook. You want her to be submissive. You want her to be a great mother. You want her to rock the bed. You want all of that stuff, right? But then what are you putting out there in order to receive those things? Or what's a solid 10 today? What's a solid 10? Got to be honest with you, gentlemen. What you guys tend to do is you look at your favorite social media influencer and you say, I want a girl like that. And you put yourself in positions to find women that look like that. But they themselves are in a position where they can, because according to their value in the quote unquote sexual marketplace, they can put themselves in a position to essentially trick off of you, right? To get what they can from you. So they themselves are also playing this very dangerous game where they're trying to put out the least amount of investment for the maximum amount of return. You'll be putting yourself in positions that you're not going to be able to find a good woman because your expectations are unrealistic and you have very secular standards when it comes to what value a woman has. You don't know what a good woman looks like. You don't know what a good woman is. So how are you going to accurately have expectations on a woman that you may be seeing or getting to know if you don't know what a good woman is? You just don't. You get your cues from social media. You get your cues from the internet. You get your cues from the bozos and the red pill and the manosphere. Not everybody is bozos. I'm just saying, like, some of them can be. No, some of them are. No, yeah, definitely some of them are. But you get your cues from them, and they're telling you what you need to be looking for in a woman. They're giving you all this horrible advice, and they're single, living their lives behind a microphone in a podcast in a high-rise apartment. I'm not talking about anyone specifically, though. I promise you, I'm not talking about anyone specifically. Just you guys have very poor standards and low, like unrealistic expectations. And when I say poor standards, I'm not saying like your standards are so high that it's poor. It just doesn't make any sense at all. You know, the question that you got to ask is, what value are you bringing to a woman? What value? What are you bringing to her? What are you giving her? And I'm not talking about just finances. Where are you emotional? Have you done the work within yourself to make sure that you can put yourself in a position to expect what you expect from a woman? Have you put in the necessary investment so that you can expect the maximum amount of return? Have you? Have you? Or are you still out there looking to play? Are you still going by the red pill manosphere playbook when it comes to dating? Because either some of them are married to the very kind of women they tell you to avoid. They're either single and miserable, and they want you to be just as miserable as them while taking your money in super chats and other stuff. Well, some of them don't get super chats anymore, but they are getting money in other ways. Shout out to Rumble. Unrealistic expectations. So you guys have standards that just don't meet what you are willing to give. Am I saying lower your standards? No, I'm saying identify what's really important and then start from there. See, I'm a Christian and I use the Bible as my standard. Here's the standard, okay? Here's what the Bible says that I should be looking for in a woman. I start there, okay? And maybe there's some cultural things that you're looking for. Maybe there's some physical things that you're looking for. All that stuff is great. You want to be attracted to the person that you marry. And you might want to have some cultural similarities. I get all that. What I'm saying is there's a biblical standard when it comes to character that all men should be looking for in a woman. Are you looking for that? Do you go straight for the hip to waist ratio and try to identify from there if you want to get to know her? Like, come on. Unrealistic expectations. Using secular metrics to identify a good woman. You know what? If I want to identify a good woman, I'm probably going to go to the good book. To identify what a good woman is and start from there. And also, at the same time, use the book to make me into a better person so I can be a good man for her. No? That's how we should be looking at the Bible anyway. Not in what people need to do to change, but what we need to do to change. What we need to do as men to build up our character so that if we are single, we can put ourselves in the most optimal position to find a good woman. Because trust and believe, especially in the church, good single men is rare. So you'll be good if you go to the good book. Okay? All right. Next, another thing that be plaguing men in regards to them not being able to find a good woman is their fear of commitment. What's going on, Brother Chavis? Glad you're here in the live stream. If you made it this far in the video, please hit that like button. Greatly appreciate it. Helps with the YouTube algorithm. Some men are afraid of commitment. They've never really had to be committed to anything in their life. Everything pretty much came easy, or when they didn't like something or it got too hard, they move on to the next thing. But relationships is a little bit different. Relationships is a little bit different. And a good woman will expect commitment. That's why, a good woman will sit with you, right? Well, not so good women too, but in general, a woman will sit with you and ask you this question. So where's this going? What are we doing here? Can you define the relationship? The reason why they're asking those things is because they're trying to identify your level of commitment to what is happening in that relationship. They want to know what level of commitment you're giving. Okay? Now, at this point, you may find some women who are insecure to stick around. Okay? But a good woman is going to be like, listen, I know what I want. Good women know what they want. Most women know what they want. But a good woman knows exactly what they want. Okay? And if you are playing games, that good woman that you have, you're going to lose. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. How many of you men out there was in a relationship with a really good woman and you lost her because you had an underlying fear of commitment? You didn't want to identify the relationship. You didn't want to put parameters around the relationship that meant that you were committed to that woman. How many of you guys lost a good woman and then regretted it? And then you let her go. And then she wound up finding a good man, getting married with kids, all right? And you're singing that Neil song, Do You Ever Think of Me? No, she's not thinking of you. She's thinking about the man that gave her commitment, who wasn't afraid of commitment. Now, here's the thing, though. Let's be real. If you know that you don't want to be committed to her because you don't find the future there, then be honest and say, I don't think there's a future here. I had a really nice time getting to know you, but I don't think we're compatible. I think we should go our separate ways. Boom. That's maturity. But some men are afraid to do that. They're afraid of commitment and afraid of letting go of the relationship because they don't want to be alone. Listen, some of you men out there are just like women where you don't want to be alone. You want to keep a placeholder right there just in case you find somebody that you really want. The problem with that is this, right? Is that it causes the woman to feel extremely low about themselves because you wasn't honest. You feared committing to this person. And now they're alone after giving you so much time and you moved on or didn't move on. You went somewhere else thinking that you would find the grass greener somewhere else. And then when she gets over you, because here's the thing, brother, she's going to get over you. And when she gets over you, there is no return. Like one thing about women is that their cutoff game when it comes to emotions is extremely strong. Extremely strong. All right? They can be emotionally invested in the relationship, but once they have gone through that process of healing and in their mind, they say, you know what? It's over. There's nothing you can do to win her back. Not a thing. Not a thing. You done lost a good woman because you was afraid to commit. Afraid to commit. Now what? Now what are you going to do? And now you're bitter, angry, upset. Not at yourself for dropping the bag. Well, do we refer to, it could be a bag could be referred to a good thing. And he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. So that's you getting the bag from God. So you dropped the bag because you was afraid of commitment. But y'all don't want to drink this medicine. Call me Dr. Dre tonight. I'm Dr. Dre. And I'm prescribing to you guys medicine tonight. You need to drink this medicine tonight. Your fear of commitment is probably keeping you single. It's probably keeping good women away from you. I'm not saying that they have radar to detect it. What I am saying is you'll get involved with a woman. She wants to know where this is going. You're afraid to commit, and boom, she's gone. She's gone. A good woman is not going to wait around for you to finally commit. She might not even give you an ultimatum because she knows there's another guy that's going to be standing, waiting in the cut who's willing to commit. So let me move on. And thank you guys so much in the chat. I see you guys. And if you're watching on Facebook, please chime in. I would love to hear your opinion on this, all right? So leave a comment in the chat. All right, another thing. Now, this is one of the things that we can control and we can develop, and that is lack of self-confidence. Can I tell you something? I'm going to be honest with you. You may not believe this. You may not believe this, but your boy here suffered from low self-confidence. I did. I did. I didn't think highly of myself. I was like, yeah, I'm going to be alone. Nobody's going to want me. It is what it is, right? So I never kicked it to girls. What's going on, cuz from Trinidad? Glad you were here. I never kicked it to girls. I wasn't trying to, like, put myself out there and go to some random girl I saw that was pretty in the street and be like, yo, Ma, what's your name? Let me get your number. I would like to communicate with you and see if we can vibe and get to know one another. That wasn't me. That wasn't me. I didn't have that kind of confidence, right? Nah. But you don't even need that kind of confidence. I think the confidence that you need to have is knowing who you are and knowing your value. We tell women all the time to know your value, and we tend to push that. And I think women need to know what they're worth and their values. I support that 100%. But I also think that men need to know that as well. They need to know their value. They need to know how important they are, not just to themselves, but to society as a whole. Lack of self-confidence. Confidence is one of those things that would cause women who would have probably never looked at you before to look at you again. I'll give you a perfect example, okay? And I can say this because, again, objectively speaking, well, looks are subjective. I get it. But shout out to the brother from Staten Island, Pete Davidson. Pete Davidson is not the most looker guy out there. But Pete Davidson doesn't really have a problem getting women because he walks around with this level of confidence, right? He got this level of confidence. And he's out there walking around. People look at him. People look at him. When you stand up tall and your walk is right, your stride is on point, it doesn't matter what your facial features look like. People are going to look. People are going to turn and be like, yo, who is that? That man is moving at a level of confidence that I've never saw or haven't seen in a while, right? You'll see 350-pound dudes that's like 6 feet, right? Walk around and be able to get the attention from women because they are confident. Brothers, I'm letting you know now, confidence is an extremely attractive trait to women. They appreciate men who are confident in themselves. And you have to develop that. Like, if you really want to find a good woman, you want her to get your attention, or you want to get her attention, okay? You have to develop your self-confidence. And I'm not talking about pseudo-confidence, because a lot of these red pillars out there will tell you what to do to appear confident. I'm talking about really know who you are. Really know who you are. And one of the first places you can go to really start developing the foundation, the bedrock of your self-confidence is Jesus. Understanding what he did for you. The sacrifice he made because he thought you was valuable enough to do that. You was that much of a valuable part to him that he would die on the cross for you. Like, that's a good foundation to start to build your confidence. And I'm not talking about the pseudo-confidence, all right? Because you put a suit on a pig, he's still a pig. Still a pig. What's going on, Vanessa Carter? Glad you're here. Good to see you. All right. And thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much for joining the Harrison Extended family. And I hope your family is well. Hope your family is well. But yeah, man, like, confidence. They like that. It's confidence to, I'll say it. This is going to be a little controversial.
Danger.
Sorry. Confidence to women is what a thin waist to wide hip ratio is to men. Does that make sense to you guys? Hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. They look at confidence in a man the same way a man will look at the dimensions of a woman. For some reason, it's sexy to them. Confidence is sexy. Like, you walk around and you know you the guy. You know you that guy. And the good thing about self-confidence is this, right? If you actually have it, if you really have self-confidence, you won't be moved by the 20 women giving you attention in a room. You know your worth. So you don't you know your worth so much that 20 women can come in and throw themselves at you and you're like, nah, I'm good. But that young lady right there who's carrying herself like a woman, that's the one I'm going to talk to. That's self-confidence. You feeling, here's the thing, this is where pseudo self-confidence come in. Young man, old man, whatever age you are, you walking around feeling the need to have women around your arms, all right? That's a sense of pseudo confidence. That kind of confidence comes from somebody who really never really had confidence, but they just got some money. Like some of these red pillars out there with these podcasts, they never had money. They never had play with women. They were horrible with women. They got some money now. Now women want to use them for their money, so they'll give them attention. Exploiting their pseudo confidence because they're not really confident. These women are tricking on them. But if you got confidence, genuine confidence, you don't got to worry about that because you know I'm not about to give my energy, my resources, my time to anybody unless they're worth it. It doesn't matter how thin her waist is and how wide her hips are. It doesn't matter her bust size. It doesn't matter the features on her face and whatever. None of that matters because you know your worth. You got to walk with confidence. You got to walk with confidence. And for some reason, gentlemen, you know when your confidence and you looking at a young lady and turning them down, it drives them crazy. Like for some reason, it makes them more intrigued. And maybe ladies, if you guys could put in a chat, put in a chat for me, what is it about a guy turning you down that makes you so intrigued by them? Like, what is that? Like, what? You being turned down, you being told no. Like, what is that? Like, you let me know. Why are you guys so intrigued by a man that says no and turn you down? Let me know. Put it down in the chat. If you're watching the replay, leave a comment down below because I really would like to know this. Understanding that pathology in women to say, if a man says, yeah, I'm not interested, and you're like, okay, I gotta have this guy. Like, what is that? What is that? All right. Number 4, not in chronological order, but number 4, the inability to communicate effectively. Oh my gosh, this is a big one. Why is it that it's always the funny guys that get the girls? Because they're able to communicate effectively. This is where men and women differ. They are very different here. Okay. And I can say this, right? Not all men, but some men would appreciate having an intellectual conversation with a woman. Some men don't want to have an intellectual conversation with a woman. They don't want her to be an intellectual at all. But the majority of women out there, listen to me, gentlemen, come closer so you can hear me. The majority of women out there will never give you a shot. No matter how good you look, a serious shot, you'll be a toy. But a serious shot, if you cannot intellectually stimulate her, you won't do it. You want to know why you can't find a good woman? Why you can't secure and keep and retain a good woman? That's one of the vocabulary words we're learning with my students. Retaining, right? The reason why you can't retain a good woman is probably because you are a poor communicator. And I'm not saying like you can have certain quirks in your speech patterns, like you could stutter. That's not a big concern. It's what you say, how you say it, and does what you say have any value to the person you're talking to? Does it have any value? Are you intelligent enough to hold a conversation about multiple things, not just sports, not just what she looks like? Can you do that? Can you do that? Yeah, you know exactly who I'm talking about. Hey, yo, shout out to Brother Chavis for the super chat. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciate it. All right. Brother Chavis is one of the sponsors for tonight's live stream, so greatly appreciate your support and your super chat tonight. Man, it be the objectively unattractive dudes retaining the attention of women because they can speak to them effectively. They can just talk. They have good communication skills. And you can develop good communication skills. Join a Toastmasters club somewhere. Okay? Watch podcasts and learn the cadence of speech patterns from your favorite communicators. You can develop that. The thing is, everything that I'm talking about tonight are things that you can develop and get better at. Not in the sense that you can play women. I'm just saying you can grow in these areas and put yourself in an optimal position to find a good woman and retain her. But you got to have character in yourself too. So that's important as well. All right? So you got to be able to communicate effectively. The majority of women out there appreciates a man who can communicate, who can speak, who has a vast knowledge of multiple things, like of different things. They can speak about, I wouldn't recommend talking politics, but they can talk about medical things and things happening in current events and have a more broader view of it. They can have a stance, but have a broader understanding that led them to their stance. That is extremely attractive to women. Extremely attractive. Here's the thing, right? And wives, if you're watching, leave a comment down below and let me know what you guys think, because I've seen this happen, right? A wife can be in the presence of her husband and a couple of their friends, right? And she could be sitting there just watching her husband communicate with her friends. And he's communicating in a way that is showing how much he knows and how much he listens to what's happening. And she is probably going to adore her husband in that environment because he's able to communicate. And another thing that makes men positive, effective communicators is their ability to listen. It's their ability to listen. Not just being smart in what you say, but listening to understand what she says as well. That's important. Extremely important. Effective communication. You got to be able to communicate. There was a movie I watched where Morris Chestnut was on a date. I think it was the first, what's that Steve Harvey book? Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man. The first one where, what's her name? Either way, she was dating Michael Ealy in the movie, but then she connected with her college honey, and all he did was talk about himself. And although it's a movie, but it's a great example. Women like listening to their men talk about themselves and talk about different things, but they also like being heard when they have to say something about themselves or other things as well. So you just talking won't stimulate a woman. But you being able to listen, understand, respond to what she's saying, show that you're listening and understanding and care and have concern about what she says. That's like magic. It's like magic. Looking in their eyes, saying affirmation words to know that, let her know that you're listening. It's like magic. For most women, they'll be eating out of your hand, but not in that bad way, like not in like that manipulative type of way. They're just gonna fall in love. You wonder why you can't keep a good woman or find a good woman? Probably because you're a poor communicator. You don't speak well. You don't have a knowledge of a lot of things. You're not well learned. I'm not talking about going to school. I'm talking about just, reading and looking to grow in your knowledge. And you don't listen well. Why would she want you? A good woman's not going to want a man like that. You guys hearing me, brothers? You hearing me? I hope so. Okay. And lastly, all right? Lastly, let me take a sip of my tea. Could have put more honey in it. It's a little dry. Like these lips. All right. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is the limited social circles or opportunities. Now, there is something about a man that this one specific thing about men drives women crazy. And that's when they see a man with ambition and when they see a man in positive circles of other men that are growing in a specific area too. Some of your social circles are extremely small, extremely limited, and not putting you in a position to grow in life. It's not. It's not. In fact, let's call it a buck. Let's be absolutely real, okay? Most of your social circles exist behind a video game screen and headphones. Not all, but most. You don't have many friends, and the friends that you do have is all online. You're not growing because your social circles are extremely limited. I heard it said like this before, right? If you're the smartest person in your circle, then you're in the wrong circle. You're in the wrong circle. If you're the richest person in your circle, you're probably in the wrong circle. Surround yourself around people that's going to help you grow. Because your limited social circles will keep you limited. Will keep you limited. And here's the thing. A man who has positive relationships with other men that has resources that they pull together and able to glean from allows a woman to see that their man, that good man, is worth having around because he's good. He's got a good oikos of people around him that's going to hold him down and help him with resources and stuff like that. That's a level of security that many people aren't talking about. They don't talk about that. Because a man who has a positive social circle will help their women feel a little bit more secure because they know that the community got them. If you're hanging around businessmen and presidents of corporations and CEOs and entrepreneurs, that encourages them because bad company corrupts good morals, right? You also know this, that you can tell a lot about a person based on the people that they hang out with. All that's true. It's social, but it's true. And if you are the top person in your circle, and this is why that whole alpha man thing, that pathology about and the idea of alpha men, humans aren't made like that. Because if there can only be one alpha, and if you are the alpha in any specific situation, there's no need for you to grow. There's no need for you to grow. However, if we look at it like this, all right, we're all brothers here. All right, what do we need to do to elevate us? Because the Bible doesn't say this, but I've heard this before, and you probably heard this. A rising tide raises all ships. A rising tide raises all ships. If I'm elevating, I want everybody else around me to elevate. Everybody. Okay? I don't want to be the smartest person in my group, but I want to have value to add. Okay? I want us all to be equally smart, maybe in different areas. I don't got to be the smartest person. I don't got to know everything. I can know a lot about this one thing that somebody else may not know, but they are probably going to know a lot about something that I don't. That's right, my brother. If you're the smartest person in your circle, you need a new group of friends. 100%, Vanessa, 100%. You can't be the smartest person in your circle. Cannot. And if she's looking at you and you're the smartest person in your circle and everybody else is down here, she's like, yeah, I don't know about this, man. Especially if you're in the dating phases. Like if you are a big fish in a small pond, you're not going to attract the lady fish. You just won't. All right. But if you're in a big pond with a lot of big fish and you guys are working together, first off, all of you guys are going to get a good woman. All of you guys. That's a fact. Like all of you guys will get a good woman. Okay, that's one. And two, like, there's no need to compete for a good woman, because you guys are all doing the work within yourself. And that's the purpose of tonight. As you approach relationships, you need to approach it with the idea that I'm going to improve myself so that I can put myself in a position to find a good woman. Because the reason why you can't find a good woman, the reason why you're struggling, is because you have a poor sense of reality. You've been ingesting bad podcast teachings for too long, and I'm here to tell you that it's time for a hard reset. A hard reset. And what you need to do is start doing the work inside you. Start doing the work inside you. Start looking at the circles of friends that you have. Look at the level of communication that you have and identify if you need to improve in how you communicate and how you listen. If you have lack of self-confidence, you need to develop confidence. And shameless plug, and if you do lack self-confidence and you would like to speak to somebody about that, you can talk to me. You can go to coachingbydre.com and book a session with me. And we can process that, all right? In 8 weeks, I'll have you in and out and as a new man. 8 weeks, you'll be a new man, new person, okay? Or I'll start you on the path of being a new person. How about that, all right? Fair commitment. If you fair commitment, you don't belong in a relationship at all, okay? If you fair commitment, stay out of those dating streets, because you're going to do yourself harm and harm to the young women that you're running through. Stay away. Stay away. Okay? Much appreciated, brother. Much appreciated. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right? And last but not least, your standards are poor, high, and unrealistic. Just like we be telling women all the time, your standards are unrealistic. All that stuff is cap. No, it's not cap. It's true for many. But the cap part is men feel like they don't have unrealistic expectations too. We want to put the least amount of investment for the maximum amount of return, just like in capitalism. And that's wrong. That's not how relationships work. So, gentlemen, this is not exhaustive. But if you find yourself in a position where you are struggling finding a good woman, maybe you should start with these 5 things and then continue growing in other areas. And you just might find yourself in a position where you got a good woman that you got married to, that you have kids with, that you have grandkids with, that you're retired with, that you're living with. You'll find that good woman. Okay? And this will also help you identify what a good woman is. And if I can close with this, okay? If I can close with this. Make sure that you use a standard that's going to help you, like the Bible. Use the Bible as a standard in regards to what you should be looking for in a woman and how you should be growing as a man to put yourself in a position to find a good woman. Because the Bible is clear. He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. And you can hear it. The testimonies of so many men out there that married a good woman and watched their lives exponentially get better because they found a good woman and they have a good woman in their life. So marriage may not be for everybody, okay? But if you're able to find a good woman, right, and you're going to be a good man to her, and you worked on these things and others, marry her. Marry her. And watch your life elevate. If you did the vetting process properly and you found a good woman and you're being a good man to her, all right? So guys, thank you guys so much for watching the live stream. I greatly appreciate it. If you made it this far in the video, if you're watching the replay, do me a favor, hit the like button right now on YouTube and on Facebook. Share it out if you're on Facebook. If you're watching on Facebook, share this right now. Like, click that share button and share it on your feeds. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing to the channel by hitting the subscribe button and the bell notification next to it, so it'll let you know when I go live like I'm doing right now, when I upload new videos, okay? And shout out to Vanessa for joining the Harrison Extended family through subscription. Glad you're a part of the Harrison Extended family. And shout out to my brother Chavis Grenard, who hit us up with the super chat and tonight's live stream sponsor. So thank you so much for sponsoring this video tonight. And if you would like to also support the channel through monthly memberships, there's a couple of ways to do so. You can hit the membership button down below on YouTube, and you can go to Patreon. If you're watching on Facebook, you can go to patreon.com/Harrison Family Values. The tiers are expensive. We have third cousins, second cousins, first cousins, and siblings. Those 4 tiers will allow you to support the channel monthly in a way that won't hurt the bank, and you won't even realize that you're paying monthly because it's so inexpensive, and every little bit counts. You can also hit us up with a super chat like my brother Chavis did tonight, or you could hit us up with a super thanks if you're watching the replay right now on YouTube. But my favorite way, you can pick up my book. Go to Amazon.com and search From a Fatherless Father to His Sons and pick up my book. But one of my favorite ways of support, and I had a couple of people purchase hoodies recently, which was dope. Go to my merch page on YouTube. If you go to YouTube, actually, if you scroll down this video a little bit, you'll see some merchandise for sale. You purchasing that merchandise will help this channel grow and help this channel stay on YouTube as well. Okay, and it supports the channel, and you get something in return. All right, so we have designs, sayings, we have coffee mugs, we have all kinds of stuff that you can purchase and support the channel that way as well. All right, yeah, thank you guys so much. And guys, I really appreciate you all. This is a labor of love, and yes, I would love to make an income out of this, but if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm just glad that you guys have watched this video, made it this far, and I really, really, really appreciate you guys more than you can imagine. All right, so again, thank you guys so much for watching this live stream. I love you, appreciate you, and until the next upload live stream, I'm out. Peace.